Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm going to be making a cranberry chipotle relish with crunchy jícama. This is something that I have put on my Thanksgiving table for probably 25 years now. And those of you that like full flavor and want to bring that to your Thanksgiving festivities, I highly recommend this recipe. So since most cranberry packages are about 12 ounces, that's what I'm working with here. That's about 3 cups or so. And I'm going to put them into a saucepan here. Add 2/3 of a cup of orange juice. I was heating that pan up. That's why it made that noise there when I poured that in there. Orange juice, or you could just use water. I love the flavor of orange with cranberries, so I'm going to even reinforce that. I have the zest of half of an orange, and I just took it off with a vegetable peeler and then chopped it up and scooped it up with my knife here. And so I'm going to put that in here as well. And then we have 2/3 of a cup of sugar that will go in. This is not a real sweet cranberry relish. You could even call it sort of like a salsa, I think. Now for the chipotles, I'm going to put 2 of them in, and I'm using the canned chipotles. They're certainly the easiest ones for people to find and to work with, but I'm going to chop those up very finely here. So first cutting crosswise so that they're in very thin strips, and then going the other direction. Now I'm not taking the seeds out or anything. If you don't like seeds, you could take them out of there. I think because this cranberry relish is got a lot of texture to it, the texture of the seeds is really welcome in it. So scoop that up and put that in here as well. You can hear those cranberries sort of popping here. I've got it over high heat now to just get it started. But the next thing that I'm going to do is to start this stirring process and reduce the heat a little bit. And then I'm going to stir it here until all of the cranberries have popped and we start to see a beautiful thickening start. We don't want to turn it into a paste, so not too far, but it should have some nice thickness to it. That'll take 7 to 10 minutes over sort of a medium flame here. I'll show you what that looks like when we get to it. Okay, I want you to look at what this is like. You can see that it kind of holds its shape in the spoon. That's what I'm looking for, no thicker than that. I've turned off the flame here, and I'm gonna let this cool down. And while that's cooling down, I'll show you how to work with the jícama. This is an essential part of it as far as I'm concerned, because it adds this really beautiful light crunch, which is just, to me, what you want at that Thanksgiving table. You need something that contrasts with all of those rich and creamy flavors. So when you're working with a jícama, you have to use a knife to peel it. You can't peel it with a vegetable peeler because the rind is too tough. So you want to go about 1/8 of an inch down below the surface and get that all off of there. If you use a vegetable peeler, you will leave this very fibrous layer on there. But you can see that it does peel quite easily. Now, once you get it peeled there, I'm going to cut it into slices that are 1/4 of an inch thick. And then we're going to cut those 1/4 inch slices into, that actually looks like it was meant for me. Okay, now we're going to cut this into 1/4 inch strips and then into 1/4 inch dice after that. Okay. I scraped the cranberry mix into a bowl so that it would cool a little bit faster, and you can see that as it cooled off, it got an even jammier like texture. That's why you don't want to over reduce it in the pan, because it will thicken some as it is cooling off. And then our little diced jícama will go in here, stir that up. And then we have to season it, of course, with salt, because we don't have anything but sugar as a seasoning in this right now. Just look at how beautiful and festive that is. Don't you just love cranberries? I think they are one of the best fruits out there. Okay, so now I'm going to start with a generous teaspoon, with a teaspoon of salt here. And I think that's what it's going to take. I'm using the diamond crystal here, so that's actually a lot less than a teaspoon of table salt. And then I'll just give it a taste and see where we are flavor-wise. Make sure when you're tasting this, though, you get some of the jícama. That's it. That's the flavor I really love. Buen provecho.